Hello everyone, Citizens United, and I'm glad to see you. Of course, it's the international break, there's no Premier League, but we're going to look at a few of the games from last season and compare them to this season and see how we're doing, see if we're moving forward. Even though we didn't get a striker in the summer, we didn't get Kane or anyone else, see if we're doing the right things and see how it's going for us and see if we're actually improving where we need to improve. And in particular, we're going to be looking at the Chelsea, Leicester, Liverpool, Spurs and United games away from last year, compare them to this year. Yeah, so let's jump in because I'm quite intrigued because I think with the striker we'd be top of the league. I wouldn't say we'd run away with the league, but I think we'd win it. I definitely think we'd be top of it right now. And I think when you look at the stats, you're going to see that we desperately need a striker. We need someone to put on the balls in the net because it's just not happening for us. But everything else, I've seen massive improvements. So when you look at the first game this season, we were looking at Spurs. And if you look at Spurs game last year, we got beat 2-0. Jose was in charge, and this put them top of the league, and it put us in something like 8th or 9th, I think maybe even lower, 12th or something. I'm not really sure. And people were already writing us off on the title because we were quite far behind. We weren't playing well. We just got smashed by Leicester 5-2 at home as well. We weren't doing good things. And I thought with Jose in charge of Tottenham, top of the league, I thought they were going to win it. I thought they had a really good chance. Of course, things changed. Spurs dropped off massively. We went on like an 18-game winning streak or something like that. We were really, really good last season in the middle through the winter months, which is notoriously the hardest time to play. So, we did well. And that's with Aguero injured for most of the season. So look at last season. We had 67% possession to their 33. We had 21 shots and they had 4. But both their shots on target went in. And we only had 4 shots on target. That's a dismal return rate. If you look at 21 shots, 4 on target, that's where we went wrong. They hit us on the break like we knew they would. Jose likes to soak up their pressure, and his teams hit you fast. And they've got players like Son and Bergwijn as well. They did a really good job. No complaints. And then you look at this season, and it wasn't much different. They had more possession, of course. Well, actually, they had 1% more possession. That was it. You look at the shots, it was a little bit more even. But again, they hit you on the break. Nuno did that. It was quick transitions. And we just didn't deal with it. They had 2 shots on target. They scored with 1. We had 18 shots and 4 on target again. So our shots were quite similar, and that's less than a third of our chances on target. It's less than a quarter of our shots on target. If we had a striker, would we be doing better? I don't know. Because the thing about the Tottenham game, it was first game of the season. Fans were back for the first time from COVID lockdown. They had the new manager. They had a lot of things going for them, Tottenham, this year. We had a lot going against us. We didn't really have a pre-season. We had De Bruyne out. We had Foden out. We had Ake in centre-half. And the thing about Ake, just a quick one, is that I really liked it when we signed Ake. I thought he's going to be a really good player for us. He's not proven to be, whether he's a top 4 player, maybe he's not. But when you got Stones and you got Diaz and you have Laporte in centre-half, and then you look at Ake, you can see the difference with them. They've had more time with Pep, of course. Well, Diaz hasn't, but he just doesn't look up to it. And I think that's shown in the Community Shield when he gave that last-minute penalty away. It's shown against Tottenham as well, and I thought he played pretty poor. But the one big change we have made this season in defence is we moved Cancelo left back, and that's been a huge, huge difference in stopping the counter-attacks because Cancelo runs box to box. He's a little bit quick. Zinchenko's a great player, but he's not a left back. Zinchenko's not quick enough to keep up with it, and a lot of times last season we're playing Zinchenko left back. Now, I don't want to see Zinchenko left out, of course. I really like him, but at the moment, where does he fit in their team? Because he can't play left back, and Cancelo's there, and Cancelo's doing a fantastic job. So yeah, Tottenham, both games are quite similar. We should have won them both. We really should have won them both. But you look at the shots from this year, I do think that we weren't that good. We weren't playing well. So yeah, there's a few reasons why we didn't win that game. But one of the reasons, again, is because we weren't having shots on target. And that takes me nicely to the Leicester games from last season and this season. So Leicester away last season, we won 2-0. I think Mendy scored the second. We controlled possession a little bit, 57 to their 43, which doesn't look great in their 4 shots to 11. But if you look at it, they're looking to soak up pressure and hit you on the counter, which is what they did to us last season. We handled it quite well because once Vardy's one-on-one with Edison, we're going to be in trouble every single time. And this season, they had 40% possession, so we had a little bit more of the ball. They had 7 shots to 2, and we had 24 shots and only 8 on target. So again, we had a third of our shots on target. Look at how much ball possession we had. And we only won 1-0. And again, if Vardy gets one-on-one with the striker, or any of their players get one-on-one with their striker, get one-on-one with Edison, they take their chance. That's a different game. They have both their shots on target. They win that game. And why? Because we've not got a striker. We're not hitting the target enough. We got all these wonderful flair players, all these wonderful midfielders. And yeah, you can play with 10 midfielders. But if you haven't got anyone to tap the ball in like we don't, then what's it all for, really? Beautiful football, but no end product. And we've not scored in something like 6 or 7 games this season, which isn't good enough. That includes the Champions League as well, and the cup games like against West Ham and Paris Saint-Germain, but it still isn't enough. We've kept 7 clean sheets in the Premier League, so defensively we're doing the right things. I think we're soaking up them counter-attacks quite well. We're stopping them really well. And again, I keep going back to it, but Cancelo on the left and Walker on the right, they have to be starters, because as fullbacks, they're really good defenders. They're really good getting box to box. And they're really good at whipping the ball in as well. So yeah, the Leicester games, again, quite similar. We were really lucky they didn't take their chances. But we should be winning them games quite easily anyway. We should be winning, especially this season, we should have won that one by 3 or 4, not just 1. You can say Schmeichel had a blinder, which he had a good game, but still, we have a striker. We have someone decent to put the ball in the net. It's a different kind of game. And then after Leicester, of course, we got Chelsea. So the Chelsea games last season, of course, we got battered by them 3 times. At the end of the season, in the Champions League and the FA Cup and in the league. Although we should have won the one in the league if Aguero hadn't just Panenka the penalty straight to Mendy. But last season, they had Frank in charge when we played them at Stamford Bridge. We did really well. We limited the shots, but they had more possession. And again, what does that tell you? It tells you that we're a little bit worried about the counter-attack, probably. So we'll let them keep the ball a little bit. We'll let them pass it around. And they did nothing with it, really. They had 10 shots to our 18, but Chelsea didn't really create anything. They scored in injury time with Hudson-Odoi like the 93rd minute or something like that. But other than that, they weren't really in that game. We basically handled them really well. And they're a physical team and quick team, Chelsea, but we managed it okay. And this year, we beat them 1-0. They didn't have a shot on target, of course. They had that little bit of fluid, which is why their shots were a little bit better in the second half, like towards the end when they were pushing for an equaliser. But you look at our shots, 15 and only 4 on target. Again, it's less than a third of our shots on target. We're not doing well getting that ball in. We're playing all this wonderful football at the edge of the box. We're getting to the byline. We're cutting it in. No one's there to tap it in. But defensively, I can't complain. We had 13 corners. And again, we're not a tall team. Chelsea are a massive team. We're not that tall. We're never going to really win headers. If we had Kane, we'd probably get a couple more goals. We might even score from a corner one day with him. But yeah, corners I don't really look at, because we're not really going to jump in and head the ball. We're all about whipping the ball in low and putting in with pace. And that takes us to the Liverpool games. Now, Liverpool last season, of course, we won 4-1. Alisson had a shocker. Other than that, I think it was 1 at half time. We missed a penalty again, didn't we? And when you missed that penalty, I think it was it Gundogan that put it over. You're thinking to yourself, my word, not again. Because we've seen it with Liverpool before. We miss our chances. They take theirs. They hit us on the break. Salah and Mane, they rip us apart with pace. And last season, again, you look at that. And it's interesting to see a 4-1 when we've not had the most possession. But that's because we gave them the ball. And the thing with Liverpool is they're dangerous when they hit you on the break. When they've got the ball, yeah, they can put the ball in. They've got Trent Alexander-Arnold and they got Robertson. They're really good cross of the ball, good fullbacks. But their midfield isn't really going to create too much. They're there to break up the play and to move it quickly and transition it quickly to the forwards. So yeah, we give Liverpool the ball and we're like, okay, if you think you can play through us, do it. And they couldn't do it. They got their goal through a penalty, which it wasn't a penalty. Salah dived all day. I don't think he'd get it this year. But it wasn't one of those games where we were like, oh, okay, we're on the edge of our seats, because even our shots, we had fewer than 10 shots and they had fewer than 10. We just took our chances, and mainly that's because Alisson was pretty poor. So thank you, Alisson. This year, same again, possession 50-50 almost. We had a few more shots. They had exactly the same, interestingly enough. They had 1 shot extra on target. But again, look how shots on target. We're not doing enough. We're not hitting the... we're not making the keeper work hard enough. We're not taking our chances. I don't really mind that, because not against Liverpool at Anfield anyway. Because what he's done with, he's put all the midfielders on who were going to run. Jesus, Foden, Bernardo, they're going to run all day for you. They're going to work really, really hard. But they're not necessarily there to score the goals. You want them to score the goals, and of course Pep wants them to score the goals, and they should do at some point. But away to Liverpool, they're probably going to be more there to run and to keep pressure on them. And that's what they did. Let Liverpool have the ball. Let them try and play through you. Now, defenders today this season been phenomenal. All of them. Walker's been good. Cancelo's been good. Diaz has been good. Laporte was brilliant. He got sent off, I know, against Palace. Stones has come in and he's played really well. And speaking of Stones and playing really well, of course, where does that take us? Well, that takes us last to United. And the United games last season, 0-0. Most boring game ever. Don't even watch it. No highlights. Waste of time. What a derby game that was. I don't think we tried to win that game. Again, we had 9 shots and only 2 on target. They had 10 shots and only 1 on target. You know, both teams were poor. Just write that one off. But we didn't get beaten. We kept a clean sheet. This season against United, we dominated from start to finish. They had 1 chance. I say it was a chance. It was a half chance. Ronaldo half volley on the turn of his left foot straight at Edison. That's it. That's their entire game. The highlights were shocking if you're a United fan. As a City fan, though, look at that ball. That possession's gone up massively to 68%. And where did we control the ball? In their half. Not in ours. We weren't passing between the centre halves. We were passing it in their half. And United didn't press us. Probably thinking the same we do at Anfield, which is let them have a little bit of the ball. Let them make mistakes. But we've not really been making mistakes away from home this season. And that's one of the strongest things I can say. But again, the United game highlighted something which I keep saying, which is no striker. We need a striker. There's a moment that summed up our season for me. Cancelo gets to the byline on the left-hand side. He cuts it back. It goes through De Gea's legs, goes straight through the 6-yard box, straight through the 18-yard box, and no one was there within yards to put it in. No one. Not a single City player attacking the ball. Why? Because we haven't got that poacher. We haven't got that Aguero. Maybe Sterling would have been there and put it in because we didn't make a substitution against United because no one was tired. No one was trying that hard. But if we had a striker, if we had an Aguero, that was in the net. If we had a Kane, that was probably in the net. If we had anyone, even if we had, any striker whatsoever, even Ferran Torres would have put that in. Like, Torres has been brilliant for us. He's injured at the moment, which is a shame. But would he have started the United game? I don't really know, because I think the United game highlighted who Pep thinks his best 11 is. Because again, he didn't make a substitution. He trusted that team. A lot more than Solskjaer did. Solskjaer made 4 substitutions because of the concussion in the second half to show. They did nothing. Not a single United player achieved anything. And you starved them service to Ronaldo. You starved them out the game. And that's what we did. Our defence has been on top this season. Our defence has been better than our attacking this year. Diaz, Walker, Laporte, Stones, Cancelo. Like, Cancelo's phenomenal this season. Walker's brilliant as always. And the centre halves, they've all been good. And that's one of the things I can say. We've stopped the counter-attacks a lot better than what we normally do. That's why you're not seeing players like Vardy ripping us apart. That's why you're not seeing United hit us on the break that much with Greenwood and Rashford and Sancho when he comes on. Because we're starving them with that counter-attack. We're still playing high up the pitch. But moving Cancelo left back means we've got a little bit more pace than we had over the last couple of seasons there. And he knows how to defend as well. And they're more worried about him going forward. So they're not really hitting us as quickly as they should, because they're like, if they lose the ball and Cancelo's up there, he's going to cause havoc with their defence. So again, our defence has been great. Our midfield, Rodri breaks the play wonderfully. No complaints there. De Bruyne, De Bruyne's not been playing great, but, you know, it's De Bruyne. He'll come good eventually. Gundogan came straight into the team. He's been phenomenal when he's played. You know, and again, moving Jesus on the right has been great, because having him on the right and Foden in that team as well, Bernardo, them 3 runners against United, they were just running. And that's what Pep wants. Pep wants runners, and that's what we want to see, because they all put in performances like the fans of the club. Of course, Foden is, but Bernardo will just give you everything. Jesus will give you everything. But who's putting the ball in the net? No one. All that effort. And you've not got that end product, which is a shame. And that's what we're missing out this season. We're just missing out that one clinical piece. So in January, we sign a striker. I think we'll score more goals, and I think we'll go top of the league. Or West Ham might win the league, who knows? But yeah, I mean, that's it really. I mean, that's everything I can say. I think we've been great this season. Away from home is where we've really thrived, where we're starving teams of chances. We're not dominating particularly, but we're keeping the ball a lot better. But at home, against the teams that like to defend, like Southampton, like Crystal Palace, who will soak up the pressure, who will give you all the ball, and who are not really looking to go attack you. That's where we've been exposed. That's where the striker needs to come in. So away from home, we don't really need it per se. But at home, when teams are just defending and we're putting all them balls in and no one's there in the box, because the people who are crossing the ball should be the ones in the box. You know, you can have it all day where you got Walker hitting the byline, Cancelo hitting the byline, Foden chipping the ball back in, Bernardo whipping balls in. Who's there? Who's in the 6-yard box? Nobody. And maybe that's kind of where we're missing Sterling as well, because Sterling loves to tap in and he'll get on the end of it, but we need a striker just for the home games. And that's why I'm hoping we give Delap a chance this season as well. I know he's been injured a couple of times, which is a shame, but I want to see Delap given a chance. I want him to see him come in and see what he can do with us. Because again, we're just missing that one little thing in front of goal. That's it, just one. So yeah, looking at the stats compared to last season, this season, you know, some of them have been quite similar, but the overriding thought this year is that we're having shots at goal, but not on goal. And we need to change that. We need to be hitting the target more. And that's everything. So thanks for watching. Thanks for checking us out. I hope you have my little opinions. If you've got anything to say, please do put in the comments. I'd love to hear back. Love a bit of feedback. And please do think about liking and subscribing as well. Liking the video massively helps us on YouTube. We're still trying to grow. We're still trying to get an audience. And, you know, we want to do more content and do more things. And I'd love to be able to do that. You know, and if you hit subscribe, even if you never watch, again, your support means everything. So thanks for watching. And, yeah, see you again. Thank you very much. Bye.